timing, was it? So welcome everyone. My name's Diana Hunter. I'd like to warmly welcome you to tonight's presentation. We're calling it It's Time, and this is a focus in on Mannatech as a lifestyle option, a way to a business with purpose, something that adds value into people's lives, but also adds value into yours through the reward of helping others, but also through monetary award through our business lifestyle option. And it's my great privilege and pleasure to welcome our guest speaker this evening, Sharon Whiteman. Now, she's what we call a Gold Executive Director with Mannatech. That simply means that she has helped thousands of people in regard to either the Mannatech nutritional technologies or the Mannatech lifestyle. And she is also recipient of the Australasian Giving Spirit Award. Now, that, for those of you who aren't familiar with Mannatech, you may not know what that means, but that is awarded to one person every year who has contributed and uplifted the community as a whole. So that will give you a bit of an insight into the spirit and the heart of Sharon. In regard to business education, Sharon had first-hand experience with Mr. Robert Kiyosaki and his wife, Kim Kiyosaki. And that continued for almost a decade throughout the 90s. And there she learned strategies of mindset and action to be financially literate. You may have heard of Robert Kiyosaki. He is author of the best-selling Rich Dad book series, and he's an international educator on financial intelligence and international business strategies. Now, Sharon's very passionate about making sure other people have these same opportunities. She is a consummate educator and communicator, and she has provided business education each and every Saturday morning since 2003, interviewing the leading educators in either health education or business education. And so again, you have someone who's well-versed in both these topics. Her first career was as a critical care clinical nurse specialist, and that gave Sharon a unique insight into the importance of a proactive and integrative approach to well-being. And empowered by 3 decades in a variety of leadership positions, Sharon has a heart for seeing the best outcomes for everyone she meets. And a quote from her is that we all have to commit to making the world a better place. And I know that that's something that Sharon lives on a day-to-day basis to help people with better wellness, improved lifestyle, and more fulfillment in their purpose. And a home business with Mannatech, she says, is the perfect choice. So with that, thank you, Sharon. I'll be sitting here with pen and paper taking notes. Look forward to your presentation.
Dana, thank you so very much. That's very gracious of you. And yes, I'm very passionate. Probably you can hold me down sometimes when I get started about this, and I could probably talk about this topic for hours, but I'm going to do my best to be succinct and on time tonight for everybody listening. And for those who couldn't make it in the evening time, we know it's not convenient for everyone. So I think this front page says it all. You know, I want to convey to you why I think Mannatech is the best option right now, whether it's for well-being, whether it's for lifestyle, whether it's for purpose, mission. If there's something missing in your life, I would like the opportunity to present why Mannatech could be part of fulfilling that for you. Oh. My little computer didn't change pages. Just a sec here. I'm going to have to do it in a different way. Thanks for your patience. So I think we had a brief chat before we started recording tonight and talking about, that we're all in the COVID-19 storm, but we're all in a different boat. So, that's over the couple of years that it's been around in Australia. It's been changing, hasn't it? At first, it was the this fear, I guess, of learning all about this, and the limitations on our freedoms, and then the mandates on what we should do for our healthcare. And now it's sort of patchy depending where you live in the country, but it's still impacting all of us. And that point of that we're in the same storm but not in the same boat is really important. And that's the same, like whoever, we don't know if it's impacted your health or someone in your family or your income, or whether you realize, you had some time off and realize you've been working too hard and you're looking for something different, or there's all kinds of reasons that you might be thinking, gee, I should take a look at this. And, the first thing I want to reassure you is that we're not here to convince you. We want you to be curious. We want you to ask questions. We want you to get back to the person who invited you. And we want you to sell us on why you should do this. We're not here to convince you, but we're here to authentically give our experience and answer any questions you might have. So ultimately, what we're talking about tonight is presenting to you that Mannatech is your ultimate business in a box. And there's some really key details in regards to why that's so unique and so special. So we're going to cover a little bit about your situation, what that might be. We're going to cover the challenges, the trends, understanding what options we have if we want to change our situation, whether that be health-wise, financially, or purpose. Do you have a mission that you're passionate about in your life? Why we should do that and why not? And at the end, we're going to talk about, well, why not you? Like, this totally is just making sense. So first of all, this is all about you, okay? This is nothing to do with us. This is not what we want for you. It's not what we think you should do. This is looking at, well, gee, I need to evaluate my life. Do I have any gaps anywhere? And how can I find solutions to those gaps? So people that we talk to and people that I've helped with this business over the years is, are you looking for, and many of this is true for me actually, and when I was first making my choice, I can tell you that I was kicking and screaming. Are you looking for security? Are you looking for more vacations, more free time, the ability to afford a vacation, a bigger house, more savings to feel more secure? People all of a sudden may have had income disruptions in the last couple of years, and sometimes that's a wake-up call if we don't have a backup plan. And a plan B, like for whatever reason you want to change what you do for income, do you have another option? Time with children, charitable giving, a retirement plan, and this is completely unique and customizable to you. What is you? Is there anything in your life that might be a gap that's not completely fulfilled, that with some simple action and learning some new skills, you could make a difference in that? And what's in the way of having those things that you most desire, or things that you might secretly desire, or always wish you could, but you couldn't? So, I know for me, I've in some situation in my life, and you might relate to this, that you might be saying that you always have bad luck, or you're fearful to start something new, or, I couldn't do this on my own. How would I get support? Or maybe, I've never known how to do, how would I know how to do this? I've never done a business. As Dana said, I was a clinical nurse specialist in critical care. I'd never run a business, and I thought, this isn't my idea, but this product technology made sense to me at the time. And that was I think 24 years ago. You might be saying, oh God, I'm so busy. I don't have time to do something else, or I don't have enough money to get started in a business. You might be feeling stuck in your life and not knowing how to move yourself forward, or it might be completely unique to you. Like, what's in the way of you having those desires that we outlined here with some of those pictures and some of the sort of dream areas of life that some of us don't, they always stay as a dream. We don't find a way to fulfill them. So with global changes that we've experienced in the last 2 years, and obviously we're in Australasia, but I don't think we're going back to the same world ever again. And I think people are beginning to see that we're changed forever in what we've seen, witnessed, experienced, and the narratives that we've experienced through everything, through our health system, our governments, our friends, families, and the positions that we've been thrown into. So with these global changes that are the same but different in all countries, we've experienced restrictions, we've lost our personal control. We're starting to realize, many of us are going, gee, they said this and now they say that. Who can we trust? Are they lying to us, or is it a changing situation and they're learning as they go? But still, all the directives have been definitive and strong, haven't they? We know this is what you should do. And over the last two years, we've done, okay, I'm going to do that. Oh yeah, this is important to do that. And then we're gradually seeing the holes in the narrative and wondering, what's happening here? Maybe I need to come back to trusting myself a little bit more. Wellness is becoming an obvious priority. And the other thing is, for many, and again, it's depending on your boat, it might be different. Some people thrived financially, but some people realized they had zero financial security as an outcome of this COVID pandemic and global crisis. Many are feeling scared and angry, and more people, I think, if we could see each other in this room tonight, we'd be saying, people are looking to people. They're asking questions in places maybe they have never asked before, to make decisions and to learn what to trust for themselves. And that's definitely true for me. The other thing is that's happening globally. I don't know if anybody here has seen some of this in the news, but more than 40% of the global workforce are currently considering leaving their employers this year. They're calling it the Great Resignation. We've never seen anything like this. There's been the Great Depression. The Great Resignation is something completely unique, isn't it? Where people are disillusioned, they're not trusting, and they've been sometimes I don't want to put words into anybody's mouth, but they might have been so traumatized and in such a crisis that they go, right, I'm out of here. I've got to find a new way, a new life. And especially the people, with some of the weather experiences we've had, I just can't, we were flooded a little bit where I live, but nothing like some of the devastating places on the north of the Sunshine Coast and in Brisbane and then northern New South Wales. It's just traumatizing even to engage in thinking how those people might be feeling. And, so this is making for unprecedented times in our society. And I think people are making, when you've had, this could sound a bit dramatic, but in a way, everything's been ripped from us, haven't it? For some people, everything, and some people just, you can see that this has been too much stress. Companies are going to have to start selling their work and their jobs to their employees. They're going to have to do a much better job. They can't trap you any longer because people have lost their jobs through no fault and they're finding ways to make it. And so we'll have a completely different society on the other side of this. And this is some of the other stats, and these are American, but we usually follow within 6 months to a year of what happens in the US. So 49 million Americans are working from home. In the last 6 months, the same amount resigned from their jobs, and they've had a taste of lifestyle freedom. And that's what Diana was talking about at the beginning. They're moving away from toxic work cultures, toxic coworkers, and the drag of commuting to work. And they're moving towards finding a lifestyle business. You have a lot of courage when everything's been removed. On the other side of trauma, you start reevaluating life and making decisions from a different benchmark. And a lot of these decisions are economically driven. So purchasing power has not caught up with the cost of living changes. So they need, many people, even, pandemic and global challenges aside, their income hasn't been keeping up with the increasing cost of their outgoing. So they're looking for extra income, meaning that in the US right now, 40% of American households have what we call a side gig, something little on the side. So that could be anything from, Uber or Airbnb or a part-time job or a second business from home. And some people, 57 million, have as many as 2 to 3 extra gigs just to be making ends meet. So the stresses, both financially, emotionally, and health-wise, are unprecedented right now. So tonight, or at this time that you're spending with us, what we're about tonight is all about you. It's not about us. It's not about, again, I'm going to repeat this, and it's really important. We're not selling something to you. We're passing on education that I believe is one of the world's best kept secrets. That if I didn't, I was introduced to this company and this technology because I had a health challenge some 20 years ago, a health challenge so great that I was unable to work and I was on a sickness pension. And with my nursing background, and somebody said, you should try some health technology, I was sort of rolling my eyes and going, well, if it was so great, why am I hearing about it at a dinner party? And I was so skeptical. I remember it. And when they didn't pressure me, they just offered education and said, well, listen, listen to this 30-minute tape, cassette tape at the time, that's aging me. If it makes sense, great. If not, no harm done. And that's how we'd like to represent this education tonight. If this makes sense to you, great. Dive in deeper, explore a bit further, ask questions. And then if it isn't a fit for you, that's okay. So for me at that point, mine at that time was health. And, I'd subsequently moved to be also partnered with our company for business. I knew I could stay stuck and scared. And I genuinely did not have health solution. I tried everything in Western medicine, modern medicine, and they were offering me antidepressants. Or I could risk a little and take action, and that's what I did. And I've never looked back. And I'm pretty sure you can feel how much an integrity I feel about representing this company and this topic tonight. So one of the things I learned, interestingly, in kind of a weird twist of events, I learned about this before I was introduced to this company and this type of business. But I learned about cash flow education. And as Diana said in my introduction, I had the privilege of working with Robert and Kim Kiyosaki through the Powwow Events team in Sydney, Australia. I worked with them for 10 years. I was an event manager with them, and I had the privilege of being at the back of the room of hundreds and hundreds, might not have made 1,000, but hundreds of seminars and education events. So some of us listen once and they learn, some of us are slow learners. I have to be immersed in it to melt my biases. But one of the things I learned was, how does your income flow? I never learned that in my family. I never learned that in my education. And we can offer some education for you on that. So understanding cash flow. This on the right-hand side there is what we call the cash flow quadrant. That's something that was brought to the world from Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad, Poor Dad author. And he outlines for people that your income will be coming into your household from one of 4 quadrants. You can see employee and self-employed on the left of that quadrant on the right of your screen right now, and then business owner and investor on the right. So if you're an employee, that means you have a job, right? You go to work and you get paid and they tell you what to do. And that there's nothing wrong with any of these quadrants. It depends on what your income goals and your lifestyle goals are. So employee can still benefit and they can still build wealth and they can still be financially secure as long as they spend less than what they earn and do something good. So Kiyosaki used to teach even 10, 15, 20% of your income. If you put that aside and put it towards investing, you can build financial security and sometimes financial freedom in that way. So an employee is someone that works for someone else for an hourly or a monthly or a type of wage. Self-employed, there are things like includes, doctors, lawyers, people, small business, and same thing, and they tend to be, they can build wealth if they, same thing, right? They save some, do good things with it to invest and get ahead. They're both, if they stop working, they typically don't have any income. They're tied to either their business or their job. On the right-hand side is where Robert Kiyosaki educates that you can build independence and financial security. So the business owner on the top right there, for his purposes, is that's big business. So typically that would be 500 or more employees, and they could leave their business for a year, it would thrive, and they'd still have the income in cash flow and income coming into them. And at the bottom is investors. That's fairly obvious. They have in money and they invest it and they make that investment work for them. So on the right-hand side is the opportunity to have time freedom. On the left-hand side, not so much maybe long-term, but you have to be smart with the money, the cash flow that's coming in, and do something different or invest differently with that extra. Warren Buffett is very famously quoted as saying this: if you don't find a way to make money while you sleep, you will work for the rest of your life. And that's the difference between the right-hand side of this quadrant and the left-hand side of the quadrant. So the left one, your income is really driven by you and your hours to work in the day. And the right-hand side, you can make your money. So you're going to bed and your investments or your businesses are still making money for you. So it's pretty simple. I think an analogy that one of my colleagues pointed out to me that I've never forgotten, name's Kelly. A real obvious example of, that we have of compounding, the compounding fact is that most people have had a debt of some kind, and many people have a credit card. And we know what negative compounding interest is, right? So that if you have a balance on your credit card, there'll be interest against that. Or if you have a bank loan, there'll be interest against load, and it compounds and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger in a negative kind of way. Whereas positive compound come from things like assets. So money in the bank, shares, bonds, whatever that you want to do with that. A home business or a business on the bottom left there. Or investing your money. So you can invest in crypto and currency and gold and silver and stocks and shares and bonds, which has been historically common. Or on the right hand, you can invest in real estate. And there's more outside of this. Obviously, there's franchises, there's other kind of things. But these are the ways that you can create an asset that will build you positive compounding effect. In other words, building your income and your cash flow. And sometimes if it continues to build while you sleep. So if you're looking to change your financial situation, you need to take all these facts into consideration, maybe, depending on how you make decisions, do a little bit more of a deep dive and look at every leveraged income and how that works. So residual income is that one on the right side of the quadrant where it's coming in whether you're working or not. And it's really important when you're evaluating something that to make you that residual income, that you don't diminish the starting out lower incomes. So if we're talking about our business or other, even stocks and shares, to bring in 500 to 700 a month, you might say, well, that's not a big deal, or that's not a big, income, or that's not really powerful to change my life. But if you look at it in equivalence of savings, so if you saved $100,000 in the bank, that's what we get is 500 to 700 a month. And that's, probably not in today's interest rates. Historically, you might have been able to get that. But what could you get with an extra 500 to 700 a month? That could be someone's car payment. That could be someone's school fees. That could be a family holiday that they haven't been able to take. Like those, if you translate it into what you could fund with that small amount per month, that's bringing you that lifestyle quality or some of those dreams that you haven't been able to achieve, right? So you can't diminish the start out lower incomes. And matter of fact, some people only want 500 to 700 a month. Some people don't want to stop doing what they do. They may love their career. They just want a little extra. And so you can't diminish or make the startup incomes wrong or not enough. So if we look at 100,000 a month, that's 200,000 in the bank, that nominal interest rates. And again, if you just doubled that, that's someone's mortgage payment or support with the mortgage, overseas travel or investing. So it's really important to understand residual income from the point of view of comparing it to other ways to earn that kind of money, bringing extra money into the household. It's such a value add and it's achievable. Like how many of us, if we could see each other, could save up for $100,000 or $200,000? It's not common, is it? Most people couldn't do that, making ends meet with whatever their outgoings are in their household. So we're going to talk to you a little bit about what we recommend as the best leveraged income. So it's low investment, low risk, unlimited potential. So your goal might be 500 or your goal might be into thousands or hundreds of thousands. And it's all up to you. It's up to what you want to do and what your goals are. We're not here to tell you what to do, or you're not making money for us. The only way we earn income out of our business is by helping you achieve your goals. And that's what the number one priority is. So in our business, you can see on here 58% at that timeline, that's timeline on the bottom. The major company, the corporate company, handles the research and development, the quality assurance, the manufacturing, and the distribution. So those are all things that, I know as a nurse, I couldn't have gone out and started a company and known how to do all of those things and be successful and be make money with that, be successful in my income goals. 42% of the total overall cash flow goes into us. So the company does 58% and the rest goes into the people that partner with them. We share the word. We talk to people. We help people see the vision, help people partner with us, whether that's for wellness, for purpose, for mission, or for lifestyle, or for income. And our partners over there on the right are our team that we're responsible for in assisting them to have the education and the support. You take 2 steps and we'll take 1 with you. Every step you take, we support you. So when you're evaluating a business, you need to evaluate based on the earning capacity. So this is low risk. The company has all the high risk issues. We have a minimal investment, and our job is to share the good word and help people understand what we have. Another thing that's important to talk about today is to evaluate the trends. And, there's never actually been a better time in the 24 years I've been with this company where the trends are sort of like a tidal wave behind our back, supporting what we do. So obvious, it doesn't need to be said that investing proactively into well-being and wellness is now an obvious necessity. People are looking for immune system support right now around the world, aren't they? And our company has the best immune support on the planet. Number one, the most, sadly, that it's a hidden secret, what we have. We also have a situation where people have lost trust in the healthcare situation. That you can't just trust that you can go to the doctor, go to the government, and trust what we're taught about health anymore. And people are looking to increase their education and bring the power back into their own hands. Buying from home, it's become a necessity. People couldn't go anywhere. And so thank goodness for home delivery. And in our situation, for less than $50, less than 15 minutes to get started, we can set you up in a business that offers you an online store, drop ship, door to door, no worry about logistics, inventory, et cetera, except, a caveat there is that all businesses have been impacted by transport right now and the other factors, international shipping, et cetera, et cetera. But other than that, things outside of our ability to control, this is the absolute best thing. And we're talking about $50. It sounds like an exaggeration, but it's not. And along with that $50 investment comes our complete devotion to you, to your education, to your support, and partnering with you in your goal. Most people, if they want to go out and get education to help their own business or it could be a medium business or a small business, there's thousands of dollars that you invest into education. And then, we have a friend that runs a company that's all she does is help women in business. And it's $1,000 a year plus then the individual courses you pay for. That all comes free with our organization, and we're dedicated to helping you with that. So home business, let's look at that specifically. So globally, there's 100 million people involved in direct selling, offering 182 billion in annual sales. So it's nothing to, it's bigger than you might think if you haven't looked at this market. In Australia, 20% of the natural healthcare market, 10% of the cosmetics market, and the Asia Pacific region represents 45% of all global sales in the direct selling market. So it's not something to be dismissed or just to shake your head or against. So I'm about to represent to you what we recommend and what my personal experience is the absolute best business in a box that's going on the market today. Introducing to you Mannatech is a company that I've been partnered with for 24 years. Hand on heart, I am proud to partner with them. It's part of my ethics and values that I stand up for this because this is a truth in healthcare that people need to know about. So if we look around, I think we'd all agree that people are looking for more wellness right now. They're looking for security in income, and it's been such a shock. People are genuinely looking for what's my authentic purpose and mission on planet Earth. So who has these solutions? I'm here to say that for some of you, we have the solution. So we have wellness and we have the best solution for immune and natural health on the planet. And that's a big, I'll explain more about that. I know that's a big call, but it is what my experience is. I've seen experiences for people that I've not seen in 20 some years of nursing. Obviously, that's Western medicine, but also I've been very integrative in all my health approaches, and Mannatech is a key that we can't get anywhere else. Business, people are wanting the work from home lifestyle, and we've got a solution for that. And then social entrepreneurship. So social entrepreneurship is where a business operates fundamentally for profit, but also as an equal mission. They're making a difference to something that's really important. And I'll explain to what our mission is. It's the M5M, and we're supporting malnutrition, malnourished children around the planet. I'll give you a little bit more information soon. So ultimately, if you can see this, we're just poised at the perfect position because these needs is market driven for the planet right now. They're looking for what we have. So we're founded in 1994. We have over 26 countries and growing, and we're about to launch not for resale program in Europe, which is, it's an unprecedented opportunity again. We've got over 50 million invested in research, and that's completely unique in the direct selling industry. There isn't anybody that can compete with that. We have a state-of-the-art laboratory with 146 plus patents. Again, nobody can compete with that. We've 18 clinical trials, and 13 of those are double-blinded, which is gold standard in science. Nobody can compete with that either. And we have, unbelievably, a money-back guarantee. So if you're not happy within 90 days of your experience, you can have your money fully returned. And I've not had anybody in my career that has done that, because they've always had some benefit. The other thing, cream icing on the cake, is that every purchase you make, every person that purchases in your business, as a business person that you've supported them in making a decision to partner with Mannatech on whatever level, a child gets fed around the world. A child that's at risk of malnourishment around the world gets fed because of our efforts. So we've got a very broad range of technologies to support your well-being. You can see there's integrative health, skincare, weight and fitness, and targeted health. We won't go in depth into that tonight, but the foundation of the power of our technology is our exclusive glycan technology. Our aloe is grown in rich organic volcanic soil. It's hand harvested and filleted. There's movies that we can show you about how they do this. It's just like these people do it by hand. It's like a loving experience. It's like quite amazing to watch. It's 100% cold processed, and it's the highest potency Ace Man in the world. And again, we're not going to cover what the detail of this, but if you Google Ace Man, it's the #1 source of glycans globally, and it's like gold, and it has unbelievable effects on well-being. So if you can see how unique our technology is, how ethical our company is, how amazing our mission is, some of this is probably making sense. And we're just going to talk now in brief how to make money in partnership with Mannatech. So the first step is to register with what we call an associate account, which is just a word, but it means an account that allows you to earn income back. Some people just want to be a customer. You may look at this and go, gee, the business isn't right for me, but I want to learn more about that technology. The other thing is you're in business for yourself, like we've said, not by yourself. There's a full training program, and we're here to walk with you at every step. The pathway to income is quite simple. So you start your own order and you start learning about the technology and supporting your well-being with that. And then we teach you how to share the information, share the word. So all we're doing is inviting people to take a look. And we teach you how to do this. We teach you to ask questions. We don't sell to people. We don't tell people you need this. Listen, somebody tells you something. Oh, you know what? I know somebody's had benefit with something that you're sharing with me with some technology. Would you like to take a look? And we'll go more in depth at other times in how you say that. But it's not about pressure. And the people who pressure and sell actually don't do as well as the people who ask questions, connect with the person, and learn to assist them in achieving their own goals and helping them to see how this might do that or not. So there's different steps of earning. So obviously your first customer, you earn 20% on that. And that's an initial bonus for the work of getting someone set up either in their wellness or their business. Then you want to build a personal customer unit, which is every product that's purchased has a certain amount of point volume. It's just a points that are assigned to each product. You want to build to the total number of orders in your organization up to a 500 personal point volume. And then you're getting 20% on that as you go. Then the next step is to help 2 associates do exactly what you've just done. So start an order yourself, start your goals, build 2 customers, and help them build their customer unit. And that's called a Team 2 bonus. So your income is gradually starting here. So this is all very simple, and it is simple. There's some steps to learn to get started, as would be any new endeavor that you're doing. Some pro tips, we call them. Always aim, if you're having a minimum goal, aim to end just above that so that people might drop an order 1 month. So if you have a personal goal that's the minimum what you want to earn, aim 20-30% beyond that, so you've got some coverage. That's just common sense, isn't it? And always, the biggest thing I can say is be persistent, develop good habits, correct as you learn, and repeat. It is a learning process. So you're not going to learn everything, know everything when you get started. And also start to work on your mindset, what you focus on. That's really, really important. But there's so much assistance to learn those skills. I didn't know any of these skills as a nurse. I've learned so much in partnership with this company. So as your business grows, you can see here that these people have got their 500 pods. So this is your first step. So that's team 2, and that's $125. And then in the middle, you're helping 2 more. And then you want to duplicate that. So now your 4 people are doing the same thing. And as you can see here, there's words here of what we call each business level, and that's volume of business going through. And you know what? They're weird names, right? You might go all director, silver director, executive director. But if you started like a franchise right now, or if you went out and started a corner business or whatever business you're going to do you have anybody coaching with you with targets to hit? And when you hit a target, there's a celebration and a income reward. You would have to do that all by yourself. This is all done for you in this business. I think it's astounding. That doesn't have. I've got a friend that owns a franchise, and none of that's done for her. It's all self-driven. In this, you have got targets to hit for it and a guaranteed income. Basic, it's variable depending on the orders, but a guaranteed ballpark income at each step. And again, this is just repeating. So we've skipped, a couple levels in here from executive to presidential. There's a gold executive in between, but as you can see, all you're doing is helping people create that team 4 with the pod of 500 points, and helping them stabilize, educate those people, get comfortable, answer the questions, and be good customer service. And you don't have to do that all by yourself, because the company partners with you in that as well. Really, what you're doing is getting those first foundational steps solid and learn how to do it, and then repeating and helping others do the same. So that's your path to success in this business. So there's no better way to learn about a business than to hear from people who are walking that talk. So my colleagues are here tonight, and my computer is a bit weird tonight, so I'm not going to stop sharing. So it'll just be a little, usually we stop sharing so you can have a full screen, see the camera. But tonight I'll invite Diana Hunter, my colleague, to share a little bit of her story as a business partner in Mannatech. Diana, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you, Sharon. Thanks, everyone. Well, I was first introduced to the company by Sharon, who's been a friend at the time for about 20 years. And she introduced the products to me because she was aware I'd had a long-term health issue. And as a nurse, having reviewed the products herself, she could see that they may benefit me. And that's exactly what happened. I could see that this was worth trialing. I jumped in there. I bought a pack of products, and over about a 3-month period, I started to have signs of recovery that I hadn't had for 15 years. So as you can imagine, that turned my head. And as it so happened, I had in the previous year moved to regional Queensland. Now that had been a lifestyle choice for me, but it became obvious very quickly I wasn't going to be able to rely on the local environment for the kind of income and lifestyle I wanted. So I was open to options. I had secured myself a part-time position, and like everything that I do, I'd put 100% of who I am into my work situation. And I had turned their admin systems around to a well-oiled and working machine. And when it was at that stage, the woman that I was working for pulled the rug on my job in a very unethical way. But the upside of that was it was a defining moment for me, because I said to myself, I'm no longer going to put all of who I am, my skills, my knowledge and talents into someone else's business. I'm going to reserve some of that for me. And Mannatech became the obvious choice. I'd already had the results in my own health. I'd experienced the integrity and the heart of the company. And so at that point, I jumped both feet in, learned the necessary skills, participated in all the training programs, and built my Mannatech business to a full-time income, working part-time. Now, what that meant for me is I had by this time established another part-time job. It was a full-time job, and I was able to drop some of my work days in that week to part-time so that I could focus more on building my Mannatech business. I love what I do. I love the commute down the hallway to my office. I love the heart of the company and the giving back to the children worldwide in terms of providing nutrition. I think Sharon's going to go into that in more detail. But as Sharon was also saying earlier, that it's important for a lot of people, and it's true for me, to have a sense of purpose in what you do, and being able to make a true difference in people's well-being. There's no greater reward when you hear about people's results. And then also working with my business team is such a joy. You have like-minded people who are uplifting you to thriving in your business, and that is the attitude throughout the company. So we're making a difference in our each other's lives in terms of income, well-being, if you'd like to term it that way. So that's sort of generally my story. I've been involved with the company now for 23 years, and I've been paid an income every single month. After about 6 months, and I was sharing the products with family and friends, and then I started to build my business, I have been receiving an income every single month ever since. And as I mentioned earlier, during the advent of COVID on the planet, I lost a couple of incomes that I had coming into my household, but my Mannatech income continued, proving it true to be a residual income, that's strong and that continues to pay. And in fact, it actually increased again because people were aware of how important their well-being is. So there we have it. That's my story. I hope that's of benefit to some of our listeners tonight. Sharon.
Dinah, that's awesome. Thanks for being here tonight.
My pleasure.
I deeply appreciate the partnership with you and our long friendship through this company and beyond. And now I'd like to call another friend, actually, coincidentally tonight too, my friend, Sue Price.
Sharon, I can't start my video because it says the host has stopped it.
I'll get that. Oh, I may not be able to. Let me see. You might have to do that, Sharon.
I'll just make you co-host, Sue, and see if that helps. There we go.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about the business model from my perspective. So my background is I was a tax accountant for many years, and then became a financial planner. My husband and I and another partner had a financial planning business. We employed quite a lot of people. That was in West Australia. Then we moved to Sydney and we started another business and had a lot of people working for us. So I just there was sleepless nights. At one point in time, we had 72 people employed by us. We had 2 lots of rents in different cities and enormous overheads. And yeah, I look back at those business models and it's so stressful. You've got premises, rent obviously, staff, all of that stuff. And from there, I went also, like Sharon, and that's how we met. I worked with the Robert Kiyosaki organization for about 5 years. And the people that started it had moved to America. So I was sort of running the place. I was on planes, and it might sound glamorous, but I was on planes in different cities in Australia and New Zealand for about a third of the year. And half the time I didn't know which city I was in, because and Sharon knows what I'm talking about. You go, you set up events, etc. So when I started with that organization, actually it was Robert Kiyosaki that was taking our flagship product, and I was sitting next to him at breakfast, and I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Hasn't Sharon got you onto this stuff?" So anyway, you must be the only person she knows. And I felt like, really, she's forgotten me. and and anyway, consequently, I got a phone call from Sharon really quickly and started taking Mannatech. And so for the 5 years I was there, I was a customer. I just took the products. I didn't do the business. But I did meet a lot of network marketers, because he's written books, or at least one book, maybe two, I think, for network marketers. So at his events, we had a lot of network marketers. And I'd always thought, no one makes money in it. And then I met a lot of people who were earning a lot of money, some a little bit. And like Sharon was saying, it depends what people want. So it was just interesting. So it got to the point when I was departing with that company and trying to figure out what I was going to do next. I knew I didn't want employees again. I didn't want to work for someone else, all of that. And I went, why not give this a go? So I contacted Sharon and joined as a business builder. And, it just, the business model makes sense to me. As an accountant, as an accountant, I traded my time for money. That's it. There's no residual income. As a financial planner, there were trailing commissions. My husband was a mortgage broker after that for a lot of years. There's trailing commissions. So there is some form of residual income, but there is not the leverage that there is with a network marketing model, where you have other people that you help. And it's this big leverage in it. As Sharon said, the startup is nothing compared to a normal business. It's just sort of, for me now, I look at this model and I go, it's just a no-brainer. And again, as Sharon said, at this time, it is, people are looking at it a different way. There's so many people who have worked from home for the last couple of years and they love it. I mean, I went to, even though I was the boss, if you like, I hate that word, but yeah, I still took my child to aftercare, after she went to aftercare after school, all of that stuff. I would have loved to have worked from home and been at home with our kids way back then, that people can do now. So I love Mannatech. I love the company, and honestly, the business model, I just adore. That's me.
Sue, thank you for making your time and expertise available to benefit others tonight. I really appreciate your input. So we need to say that, obviously, income's not guaranteed and there's efforts involved, but there's clear steps to follow and they're not that hard to do. So the other thing to point out, I just want to finish with a couple points about Mannatech, in that, we're getting more and more notice. So that the topic of nutritional glycans and ACE-mannan, while scientifically solid, and the science is there if you look for it, there's been a whole scientific publications done on nutritional glycans, or glycans itself, the study of glycans. And now Mannatech is starting to be picked up. There's such a delay in medical science, which really, that really needs to change in our world. Hopefully after all this trauma, there'll be more transparency in medical science. One of them that's been hidden, and I don't know if it's been denied so much, but just not embraced, is nutritional glycans, which is what you're seeing on your screen right now. And now Mannatech is getting recognized in the financial world and in the scientific world in regards to our breakthrough. And it's patented. Nobody else can have the quality of ACE-mannan that we have, and it's in most of our products. So in summary, the current societal need is undeniable. People need to be supporting their immune system. Anybody that's on nutritional glycans, no matter what's thrown at you, you have a better opportunity for a higher outcome than if your body's not supported in the immune system function. The supporting trends are powerful, whether it's immune health, being proactive with your wellness, whether it's securing your income. Everybody knows that if they had a backup plan through this, it wouldn't have been so traumatic for many people. Quality of career, how you feel about what you do every day at work. People are going, well, I'm not aligned with this. I know I had that experience with nursing. I started to see the gaps in modern medicine, and I was having to do things in ICU and emergency that I didn't think were ethically right. I started to lose my ethical alignment with my career. In this business, I'm ethically aligned and I can make choices according to my ethics. And people are wanting freedom and that search of purpose that we're talking about. And, I started helping people when I was 14. I was volunteering in nursing homes, and anything that I do for income or that I put a lot of my focus on has to have that quality, and it has to be good for people and be doing the right thing. And boy, Mannatech's way more than that. It is such a breakthrough that I just could burst with pride. Mannatech has unquestioned leadership, innovation, integrity, and quality, and I stand by that. And it's powerfully mission driven, which I'll just cover briefly now. So we have a program called M5M, and it's a social entrepreneur program. Go away and research what social entrepreneurship is. Our company is quite unique in our social entrepreneurship arm in that we give before profit. So it's before the bottom line. So every purchase that you make, a percentage of that goes towards feeding a malnourished or an at-risk child around the world. And these are actual children that have been taking our nutritional supplement support. These ones, it's obvious to see the benefits. Some of these kids in some of the orphanages around the world were prior to us supporting them, were only getting 3 meals a week. That's it, 3 meals. Some of them were more supported, and they were getting, say, rice every day, but they didn't get the nutrients in that. At least they had something to fill their tummy, but they weren't getting nutrition. It's really obvious to see the difference just with getting nutrition into Aura's body, and the same with Ingrid. Now, most situations, we're actually not allowed to show pictures that show such things, because we're not going to say Mannatech does X, Y, Z in these pictures. But let's use some common sense here. This is just what happens when you get quality nutrition that the body actually needs in order to thrive. And you can see these children having a different direction in life, a life-saving direction change in their lives going forward. And there's now, millions of kids that we're supporting around the world. So I think now is the time to think, what drives you? You can look at any one of these squares that are on your screen right now. The one that's most important to me is the purpose of life is to lead a life with purpose. And in partnering with Mannatech and partnering with us, you definitely can achieve that in putting your energy in this, a little or a lot. It's up to you. So the question to you is, how will you transform your life? If you came here to this live or watching this later down the track, what's missing for you, and what are you willing to do to transform your life? Everything you do in this business lifts somebody else to a better place, whether it's wellness, mission, income, purpose. So I'll leave you with this. I ask yourself, is it your time to explore more deeply, make a choice, and change the directive of your life in those areas that aren't quite right for you right now? I invite you to join us, get back to the person who invited you to this education and ask them how to get started, explore, ask questions, and don't look back. So we appreciate you. Thank you for being here tonight. We're very fortunate to have had your company. Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you, Sharon.
Thanks,
Sharon.